Good morning, everyone. Really appreciate everyone joining today to talk about deploying starter kit in the field for the frost protecting and smart irrigation with MileSite. My name's Jessica from MileSite Marketing Department. Today, I have just prepared a very short presentation just to go over to our demo kit through the agriculture applications and covering just some of the main things to look at, main features when it comes to those kind of scenarios and how you can craft the solution and what goes into it along with the various MileSite products to look at. And we will be examining 2 case studies as well that we have different various deployments, and then I will wrap up everything with a question and answer at the end of this presentation, okay? So let's get started. Many factors affect the plant's growth, such as the light, the water, the carbon dioxide, the temperature, the moisture, the soil salinity, the nutrients, and so on. It's very important to learn the crop's living environment to maximize the plant growth. However, there are many difficulties to monitor the environment conditions of crops in the practice of farming. And not all of the farmers knows how to utilize the latest LoRaWAN technology by upgrading or replacing their older, outdated systems. And fortunately, MileSite Node2App demo kit have stepped into the market to make the technology more cost-effective for agriculture applications. Just a very real quick through about MileSite before we get into here for those who may are new to MileSite or maybe it's your first time to join our webinar, don't know too much about us. Well, as you know, MileSite, or formerly Earthlink, was founded on the end of 2016. Well, we have 2 different sister companies, Earstar and MileSite. Earstar is a very famous brand in the VoIP industry. And they produce the VoIP PBX and IP gateways. And MileSite is another very well-known brand in the surveillance industry. They produce the safety products like the CCTV cameras and NVR systems. And now, Earstar, MileSite, and Earthlink, we merged together. We integrated into one group, MileSite Group. So we will operate under one brand name, MileSite, since December this month, December 2020. And in MileSite Group, we have more than 500 employees full-time, and more than 60 of them are focused on the IoT product lines. So you can find the industrial cellular routers, the sensors, LoRaWAN sensors, LoRaWAN gateways, and the MileSite IoT cloud platform, the software from MileSite as well. So that's a very short introduction of who we are. All right. In terms of needs of a complete agricultural solution, I think there are 4 main points. First, we want to get accurate sensor data from selected crops and environmental variables. And second, we want to transmit the data to the processing infrastructure, either to a gateway, to a data center of cloud infrastructure through the IoT network. And thirdly, we would like to be able to fuse and analyze data from multiple sensors in the field. And fourthly, we want to feed analytics back into a decision support system and control system to act upon the crops. So we have a bunch of crops and we want to perform some measurements on that through sensors, and then those kind of measurements have to navigate through the IoT network. Sometimes they can go directly through their on-premise infrastructure, but sometimes those measurements might be able to go through the cloud at first and then to the infrastructure later. Then once you have some meaningful insights, you might be able to feed some air control actions back into the field through the IoT network, and then through the final actuator or final controllers to perform some devices, to perform some machines to keep the microclimate and environment better for the crop growth. So this is like the general overview of what we are dealing with. The cloud-based IoT architecture for agricultural applications. That's how we work, how we follow up this workflow. So what we are dealing with, so when we started with this solution, we had a couple of meetings with customers from our domestic market. From they are system integrators, they are the orchard garden owners, and we had this kind of constraints about how to start with something from the design. We had in mind there's a scenario to monitor, a small greenhouse. I asked about the crop height because that's important for wireless communication, and they say those kind of plans can range from anything between 1 meter to 3 meters. The maximum range for the wireless link is about 5 kilometers, and monitoring and control are important. We like to keep as much as possible a two-way communication channel. And again, real-time communication is not a priority. As long as we have something periodically reporting and threshold alarm triggering, that will be fine. And historical data must be is downloadable if it's stored on cloud. So customers, they ask for this kind of requirements, just a part of that. And in terms of the scenario, we should consider for the wireless availability, the customer mentioned, we should handle both near-distance wireless and long-distance wireless. We should make sure that any deployment won't interfere with their existing radio frequency links, particularly for the drones. And also, it was very important from the very beginning to make sure that whatever architecture we came up with will be able to include as more nodes, as more sensors in the future. And we should be able to display data from sensors in an easy and quick way. And finally, internet connectivity is essential. We recognize that because there's no Ethernet cable, there's no Ethernet landline accessing source. So during those meetings, one of the first things we asked about what sort of trains do you want to measure? What sort of parameters do you want to measure? How often do you want to measure those trains? And what threshold do you want to hit and trigger the alarm and take countermeasures? That's what you can find from this table. It's grouped in two sections, above ground and below ground. So you have above ground sensors and below ground sensors. The temporal requirement is even nicer. They only need to report this data about every 30 minutes. And for the underground measures, the depth is depending on the cable length. And in this pilot project, 5 centimeters to maximum 2 meters is enough. And on the following process, we will provide extending cables. And customers told us they are experiencing some unexpected challenges with their existing systems, as are the traditional time-based or the volume-based farming strategy not sensitive enough to make timely response to the environmental changes and the plant's needs. So it results in resource waste or the inefficiency, Although they are already taking use of the sensing technology to make some farming activities based on data analysis, the time wasting and other defects still appear, such as complicated wildling installation, such as the inflexible sensor installation, very poor compatibility among different brands of devices, etc. Or some of them have the connectivity, the Ethernet connectivity issues for the rural areas, communication connectivity. So based on those kind of pain points, they need a new monitoring solution which should have resolved those issues, such as the wireless data transmission and the real-time alert, remote management, compatibility and scalability, and very good user experience, and also meet their requirements as mentioned on the previous slides. So, when it comes to my side, our smart agriculture solution, the main ones I'm talking here are our LoRaWAN products. So those are our agriculture application-related sensors, the wireless temperature and humidity sensor, EM300-TH, the light sensor, LGT light sensor, and carbon dioxide 4-in-1 sensor, and support the barometric pressure and temperature humidity simultaneously, and the submersible water level sensor, and the soil moisture sensor as well. The 3-in-1 support temperature, the temperature, moisture, and electrical conductivity, as well as the LoRaWAN gateway as a station to receive and transmit data from sensors to the monitoring center, and the mile-side IoT cloud platform as an application server where display sensors data and processing data in that platform. And don't forget our remote I/O controller, the UC1114. It comes with 2 digital input and 2 relay output interfaces. If you want to trigger something or control some other devices or equipment, this remote I/O controller is very important. So, what this also comes into solution for smart agriculture. The devices and features that we choose that we want to go with, they have to support all the measurement ranges, the specification, and meet the requirements listed previously. There are a lot of use cases in the agriculture industry that IoT can help you to solve. And the core of every IoT system is data, loss of data. The architecture of IoT system has to provide the ability to collect the data from sensors, store data for analysis, analyze data to gain insights, and share the gained resource with other systems or users. And very common use for our products is the frost protection or the smart watering application. All the sensors are LoRaWAN-based sensor here. They collect and update and upload data to a gateway periodically through LoRaWAN network, and all the information will be transmitted to the remote monitoring center through the Ethernet or Wi-Fi or 4G LTE cellular network wirelessly. Then you can set different temperature thresholds on the application server, the mile-side IoT cloud platform, so you can get alert when temperatures dip below a certain threshold, and you can use the information to confirm that that conditions are okay for you to take certain countermeasures for frost or for the agriculture, for watering, and can help you protect from the pests and disease that flourish when specific climate conditions are seen. Now, I'm going to show you the complex example. If a temperature sensor, the soil sensor, and light sensor, all of them sense a frost condition, they will not wait for the next data report interval through the gateway, which could be, 30 minutes and half an hour away to inform you. Mileside IoT Cloud Platform, the monitoring center, will check the frost condition settings, and it will initiate an alarm and send you a mobile push alert letting you know that you need to get out of your bed and go start your pumps, your sprinklers. And if you need to turn something on or off, the cloud platform can also be able to trigger a relay, the remote I/O device that can control something output. So instead of leaving your house, leaving your home to start a pump or start a fan or sprinkler, that relay can initiate the turn off for you or turn on for you. And all these things you can leverage ground strength to create a controlled and cohesive controlled environment that will meet all of those needs. So there's some key sort of mileside products and features. I want to cover them real quick. There is a LoRaWAN gateway, is an anchor for any agricultural application. Both indoor and outdoor versions are available. It is the sort of the central nervous system that everything is built off of here. And our LoRaWAN sensors endpoints, they can be used for many different scenarios and work in harsh environment. We have a wide portfolio to choose from. The remote I/O controllers, we both have indoor and outdoor solutions that are very good for both digital analog and RS-232, RS-485 serial ports connecting. In the mileside IoT cloud monitoring platform, of course, we have this in our office as well for smart office application. And that's our entire solution that's cost effective. You can enjoy the free version of the mileside IoT cloud platform forever. Enjoy that forever. If the sensor quantity is limited or is less than 5 units. So it's a really good thing for you guys as well to make a very fast testing. So there are main features you want to go over when it comes to agriculture monitoring. The operating environment is a very big thing there, whether you need a waterproof enclosure for outdoor deployment or the IP65 box can be fully meet your requirement for the indoor version, okay? And a quick setup with sensors and LoRaWAN settings with the remote monitoring center usually is complex, but we have preset some settings in advance, such as with sensors, such as with Chopstack and TTN to save your valuable time. And also in terms of the rural areas where the DC power and Ethernet cable is hard to get, the design of our gateway provides multiple power sourcing and rich connectivity interfaces. And here we summarize 4 different scenarios how to use our gateway to support your own platform through MQTT, HTTP and HTTPS to forward the data from our embedded network server to your cloud platform or on your on-premise platform. And if you want to take use of TTN, LoRaWAN, and Chopstack, the third-party network server, please go ahead because we have fully testing with them as well. And our LoRaWAN sensors, here are some features that we want to highlight. So like I said earlier, that wide portfolio provide perfect fit. Anything from the soil moisture, water level monitoring to air light and weather monitoring to collect all the necessary data information from every corner of your greenhouse and farmland. The near-field communication technology is also supported very fast configuration for a quantity of sensors or mobile directly. So you can copy the template of settings and save your time to open the enclosure box of the sensors. And in terms of your working environment, it's not necessary to frequently visit. So for the low power consumption optimization in software for long battery life is actually a kind of big one to use. And to balance the power consumption and urgent alert, there are two types of data upload, the general data reporting and threshold hitting report. So and our LoRaWAN remote I/O controllers, well, I think is a very important part in this solution and supports a wide range of DC power input and also very rich interfaces like the digital input, analog input, RS-232, RS-485, and support Class A and Class C switchable. And besides that, you can find also the solar panel supported version, as well as our battery-supported version for the controller. I think it's a very convenient way or the most cost-effective way to convert your legacy or traditional sensors into the LoRaWAN world. Save your investment and save your time. And for the remote online management, some of our highlight for agriculture here, the software MileSite IoT Cloud provides you information which can help you take action. You can just check in periodically as you can see everything there on your screen. You can get a very quick view with that gives you a quick summary of the current conditions and battery life for each devices. So if there's an issue, those kind of blue bubble with a sensor symbol on them would pop up as red. So it will change from the green color to red color in case something bad happened. And the intuitive dashboards without additional tools for programming traceable historical data of sensors. You can check back 3 months for download and 12 months for online review. By the way, if you have multiple customers to manage a dashboard, or if you are the distributor or reseller of MileSite, I think the dashboard share will be very helpful for you because you can share all the information in this dashboard with your customer, even they without any account. You just copy the link and share the link for them. They can check all the dashboard, the pie chart, volume chart, and the widgets, all the widgets in this dashboard. And if you give their different permissions, like to control it, well, they can make try the response of turn on and turn off of a light, of a valve, of an actuator in that on that link directly. So you can follow up our MileSite IoT Cloud version 2.1 for that sharing feature, sharing the dashboard, and also you can send invitation letter to a customer if they haven't registered any account in the cloud. So if you want to share a gateway, if you share a device with your customers, with your colleagues, well, it's more convenient now. Welcome to try it. Okay, let's see some advantages and benefits. To meet the needs of smart agriculture, MileSite designs the LoRaWAN agriculture solution. It aims to simplify the process of remote monitoring, build a data-driven and insightful farming strategy, and help farmers improve their productivity and earn more money. First, easy of use, easy of deployment. With the built-in battery, LoRaWAN technology, those sensors have maximum 10 years lifetime. Okay, it's free to install sensors on any location you want. Just the NFC, the near-field communication technology, just scan the QR code, then the device can be quickly added into the MileSite IoT cloud. Pole mounting, wall mounting, and DIN rail mounting for hardware devices you can use to hand piece and save. And how far from the central station can you get? So what's the maximum range? How many nodes can you add to that for monitoring? I think really a question of frequent ask. It comes in regard to references, that range and strength of the signal. So you want a signal that will be able to penetrate. The LoRa is a popular option. In some places, the communication connectivity is always a issue in the rural areas. So LoRaWAN can support maximum 20 kilometers distance for data transmission and supports hundreds of sensors for registration without any landline wiring troubles. And the alarm, in terms of alarms and no alarm notifications and responses, again, we can provide alarms to inform you of the system issues and inform you that a certain threshold will hit, that the soil related or temperature related. You can set up an alarm to trigger. So, the triggers come in two ways. It can be web-based and email-based, and finally mobile push-based. It would provide you an immediate response. And data historical, you can easily review the historical data to protect yourself against future claims or save that in the event that you need to file an insurance claim. You can receive reports daily, weekly, or monthly if you are using the licensed version of MileSite IoT Cloud. And you can choose either of the 3 server locations to store the data and save it as CSV format. And what happens if you no longer paying the license fee? Well, your data will still save to your account because you will degrade to the free version of cloud automatically, so you can still keep your data. And this was very important when our customers, they were telling us their budget is limited. They just need a very basic kit to get them going, something that's plug and play that they can put up by themselves. They can get going with this whole smart agriculture things. So we put this kit together, and it includes a gateway, the indoor version gateway, and 3 LoRaWAN sensors, the light sensor, the 3-in-1 soil temperature, moisture, and electrical conductivity sensor, and also another unit, temperature and humidity sensor, as well as one remote controller, the LoRaWAN-based controller. And besides that, you can enjoy our licensed version of the MileSite IoT Cloud for free for 12 months, okay, for a year. You can enjoy at free cost. So, okay, so that's what I want to share with you guys today about our smart agriculture kit. The kit, how we can use the kit, and what kind of scenarios we can apply this kit. and cost, as well as the highlights, and also the workflow, why we designed this kit, and what's the parameters or trains that we can set up for the smart agriculture use. So thanks very much for your guys today. See you next time. Bye bye.